A study taken shows that at the age 95, there's 3 things that people wish that they would have done differently with their life. So the 3 things are they wish they would have risked more, they wish they would have reflected more, and they wish they would have done more that outlived them. So I developed a tool that hopefully will help us to not be in that group, wishing that we risked more, wishing that we did more that outlived ourselves. So that's what this is called here. It encompasses our purpose, our mission, and our uniqueness. So our purpose is given by God. It's not, I've talked to a 60-year-old before, and she was thinking that her purpose was serving her husband. Well, serving your husband is an awesome thing to do and does reflect Christ in the church. It's not our purpose. And I've talked to many college students who they don't know why they're in school. They don't know what degree to choose because they're not sure what their purpose is. But God tells us flat out in Scripture in Isaiah 43:7 that our purpose is to glorify Him. That is why we exist. That's why He's made us. And what that means, what glorify means, is to behold Him and reflect Him. It means to show the world what His character is like. What an awesome, incredible purpose we've been given. So that's our overall purpose. How we're all going to do that and live that out looks very, very differently. Our mission is also all the same. Everybody's mission is the same if you're a believer. Jesus has given us the mission called the Great Commission. It's the mission that He has sent us on. It's the mission of making, multiplying disciples through the process of evangelism and discipleship. So that's the same for everybody, young and old. All believers have the same purpose, and we have the same mission. But we are all created very, very differently. So our mission we have here is making disciples through the process of evangelism and discipleship. But we're all very unique. So this green one talks about our uniqueness. And on my blog, the next post right underneath will help you come up with your uniqueness. How did God build you? And how can you use that for the glory of God? There's an interest that INVEST is the acronym that will help us come to understand our uniquenesses a little bit better, how we're built, what we're passionate about, experiences He's given us, vision that He's given us. And then this top one is our current reality. So those are the places in life where God has us right now. I have 3 kids under 3 and a half. I have a baby and a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So my time is more limited than other people who have grown kids that are out of the house. Other people, they work full time. So that's their current reality, is that they don't have 40 hours a week that maybe other people do have. So we all have a different place that God has us right now. So how does that affect what we do with our time? How does that affect the Great Commission, the mission that God's given us, and the purpose of glorifying Him? So that's what we want to do with this diagram is we want to merge these together as much as we can. And try to live as much as we can right out of this spot where they're all merging together. And Jesus was phenomenal at this, obviously being God. But in Mark 1:35, He talks about He's been healing a bunch of people. That's His uniqueness. Being God, He goes around healing people to show them that He really is God. He's the Messiah. That's His uniqueness. But people are kind of forcing Him to live more out of His uniqueness and not really be about the mission. So what does He do? In Matthew 1:34, Mark 1:35, He says, "Come, let us go to the towns nearby, that I may preach there also, for that is what I came for." So at the point where His uniqueness was being pulled a little bit further than He was willing to go, He brought it back, and He was like, nope, this uniqueness is for the purpose of the mission. So same with us, like when we're completely just living out of our uniquenesses, how our strengths and how God has built us, but we're not tying that into living the mission that God's given us. He wants us to step back and reflect and pray and say, God, how can I really merge this together? How do you want me to do it? By your strength, by your empowerment. And then thirdly, tying in your current reality, right? Jesus went around from town to town. That's how He used His uniqueness for the mission. So where are you right now? What is your current reality? And taken the mission that God's given you of making disciples through the process of evangelism and discipleship and your unique strengths and abilities, try to think through tying all those together and how can you use it for God's glory.